On one of those relentless July days, when the sun pierced the sky with its ruthless brutality and an unbearable heat wave swept across the land, there was no escape from the all-pervading blaze. The radio, that inevitable companion of the modern world, tormented already strained nerves with incessant heat warnings, as if further proof of nature's abysmal hostility was needed. The streets and pathways lay deserted, as if civilization had finally grasped that any attempt to defy this relentless heat was doomed to failure from the outset. Yet a lone wanderer, an apparently incorrigible fool, remained undeterred. A tall, muscular man, whose closely cropped hair and worn fisherman's cap gave him an almost grotesque appearance, trudged on resolutely. His journey, as rocky and unyielding as fate itself, began in Altlengbach, where he left his pitiful vehicle behind. From there, his painful march led him through Steinhäusel, under the roaring highway bridge, and further towards Hochstrasse. The ground was hard and unforgiving, every step a bitter battle against indifferent nature, mocking him more with each passing metre. After endless hours of marching, his feet tormented by the sharp, merciless stones, he finally came across an inn at the end of a desolate, asphalted road. The building was large, eerie and lonely, without a single tree nearby to offer the coveted shade. The surroundings of the Vienna woods seemed to reveal a dreadful emptiness here, a gaping wound in the midst of the otherwise densely forested landscape. In front of the building stretched a tiled beer garden terrace, dotted with small sun umbrellas that provided little more than illusory relief. The white plastic chairs and tables resembled macabre offerings to the sun god, a cruel staging of human bones burned under the relentless sun. It was as if the operators of this inn were sinister followers of an obscure sun cult, luring weary travellers into this trap to be consumed by the all-devouring sun. The wanderer sank heavily onto one of those loveless plastic chairs and waited. Minutes passed, but no waiter appeared to serve him. At the next table stood a waiter, a tall, slender man with short-cropped black hair, dressed in the classic uniform of white and black. He could have been 30 or 40 years old and seemed completely engrossed in private conversations with a group of guests, as if the wanderer did not exist at all. This ignorance was an almost unbearable, painful humiliation, driving the wanderer deeper into the absurdity of his situation. Besides the ignorant waiter and the large group at the next table, a Dutch couple was also being grilled by the sun. The man, old, short and fat, with a shiny bald head, sat next to a young, tall and slim woman with long blonde hair. Their differences were striking, and the mismatched couple raised numerous questions in the wanderer's mind. Was she really in love with him, or did she only love his money? Perhaps he was a humorous man who made her laugh every day. The wanderer quickly dismissed this possibility, as the man's face remained grim, and his words sounded tortured, as if every conversation was an ordeal for him. He was the type of man women were warned about by their best friends, a guarantee for a toxic relationship. The Dutch woman, on the other hand, radiated joy, her words full of cheerfulness, and she often laughed at her own jokes. But he just sat there, grim-faced, commenting on her remarks with a sullen grumble. It turned out that their car had broken down somewhere on one of the small roads in the Vienna woods. Now they were waiting here on the terrace for the breakdown service. The wanderer lost hope of being noticed by the waiter. The waiter clearly enjoyed chatting with the large group at the next table rather than attending to his guests. This fit with his theory of a sun cult. Bringing drinks would be counterproductive to his religion. Dehydrated, the sun could finish off the wanderer faster. Water would make him more resistant. Disappointed, the wanderer finally left the place without even hearing a hello. He did not want to be a human sacrifice for an obscure sun religion. He continued his way through the forest, back to the point from where he had come. Later, when the sun had disappeared behind the hills, he gave another restaurant a second chance. The beer garden was cozy, and a Hungarian waiter finally noticed him. He got something to drink, but his plan to also get something to eat remained unfulfilled. The waiter brought him the menu along with the drink, but was not seen again afterward. Disappointed, the wanderer left the money for the drink on the table and left the restaurant. His next visit to the Vienna woods would be with a large backpack full of food and drinks.